everybody? Welcome to Let's Look at Prime World Defenders. This is a tower defense game, and I hope I'm not making a mistake here, but it's a tower defense game based off of what I believe is a free-to-play Russian-based MOBA that I actually have not had a chance to check out myself. But I believe this is a spin-off of that series from developers, I believe, again, Russian developers, Nival. And again, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And now I'm going to stop apologizing, because we're going to play a little bit of what is a tower defense game kind of mixed with a collectible card game, almost in the vein of something like a Magic the Gathering, only you use the cards for like crafting and forging. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but at the very least, this is a little bit of a non-traditional tower defense in the way that you don't just start up like something like a pure tower defense, like a Super Sanctum TD or something, and then it's like, okay, place your towers, you can upgrade them, blah, 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 blah. There actually is the ability to upgrade your towers, but you have to earn it. And the first thing I'm going to do here, if possible at least, is I'm going to try to play an earlier level, just to kind of give you a feel for what's going on. It's not going to take too long for you to like need to understand what's happening in this game, because it is, you know, fairly self-explanatory. But we'll go back to an earlier level here just to give you a baseline for what you're going to see for the rest of the game. So I'm just going to go over I'm going to skip over the voice work for the most part, because if you've ever played a tower defense game on a very basic mechanical level, it's going to be pretty clear what's going on here. We have 4 towers down at the bottom, and we can actually choose which of those towers, or which towers we have that we want to be in our arsenal are actually coming with us from level to level. Right now we have like a standard like arrow shooting tower. We have a fire tower, which kind of works like an area of effect, burn damage over time, hits multiple enemies. We have a poison tower, which is again damage over time, but also is single target. Then we have a slingshot turret, which hits enemies that are in the air, as do the arrow turrets actually. But the slingshot turrets exclusively hit enemies that are in the air. So the you know, we have our resources over here on the left. The hearts represent the number of enemies that can like get to our core over here. The water droplets, that represents prime, which is our primary resource, and no pun intended. Oh, who am I kidding? Pun totally intended. And basically we use prime to buy our turrets. We also have magic, which is just on a timed cooldown. Now the only other thing you need to know is that there are kind of augmentations just on the grid here. There is some maze building that we'll get into a little bit later, but a lot of these levels just start on kind of a linear track, and you just place towers along with it. So if we put a turret here, we'll get a boost in terms of the range of the turret. So as you can see, you can shoot more area. And if we put one here, I believe this is a damage increase. You can tell because it's a fist. So why don't we start by just putting down some very basic turrets. We can upgrade them. I remember I did say the upgrading system in this game is a little bit non-traditional. You won't experience that quite yet, but I will explain it to you very briefly in the future, or very shortly, I guess I should say. So the enemies are just going to pour out here. We're going to play on 2x speed, which is the way that I tend to play my tower defense games this day and age. I am far from good at tower defense games, but I've played so many of them at this point that I kind of feel like I've got the basics down at the very least. So another thing that's cool is you can use the next wave button to just like immediately summon the next wave of enemies if you so desire. I don't know why you would want to do that, because, you know, with the 2x button, things keep happening relatively fast, and I mean that in a complimentary way, not in a disparaging way. So we can use magic as well. You know, you just pop down a bomb or something, and that does a little bit of damage to these enemies. Magic seems pretty underpowered so far, not necessarily underpowered from a balance standpoint, but you know, in a lot of these tower defense games, it's like call down an airstrike, it's boo boo, everyone explodes. That's not the case here. It just does like 20% of an enemy's health, give or take. So I'm going to keep upgrading these turrets. I've already done, so I guess why don't we put down a, we've already done a poison turret. You know what? I don't really want to put down a slingshot turret because I don't believe we're going to get any flying enemies. Instead, I will save up for a fire turret, and I will put that down right. There's not really, this is a pretty good location for it. And you'll see how this works. But, you know, all told, we got 21 waves here. We're going to get through this fairly quickly, and you will understand exactly what you need to know about Prime World Defenders. Moving on, and then we'll get into the more kind of idiosyncratic elements of the game, like the collectible card game system, the reward system, and forging and crafting and whatnot. So in terms of like the actual tower defense mechanics, I play a lot of tower defenses simply because there is a ubiquity of them on Steam. It seems like there's a new tower defense game that comes out like once every week or once every 2 weeks. You know, in the last month I've played Anomaly 2, Sanctum 2. They're not traditional tower defense games compared to this. But you know, just to say, tower defense games come fairly often. So you know, my thoughts on this tower defense game compared to other tower defense games we've seen this year, like Go Home Dinosaurs and Super Sanctum TD, it's fine. You know, it moves quickly, it looks good. Music is a little bit repetitive and not really my style, but it's visually pleasing, and the fact that things move quickly is something that I genuinely appreciate, because there's nothing worse than a slow tower defense game, especially if it like over tutorializes. This game has a tendency to tutorialize an awful lot, and in some cases it's actually necessary, but there's nothing worse than a game which over tutorializes something that you already vastly understand. So we're just going to keep things moving here. We are almost done with this level. My hope is that we will be able to get a perfect score. Well, maybe not a perfect score, but we'll be able to get 3 stars, which is more than I got last time, because I guess I did let one enemy through last time. So all of the missions basically take the same structure of just stopping enemies before they get to your core. Sometimes it's like stop the enemies before they get to your prime generator, which is like an extractor which extracts prime resources from the earth, and then they'll take it to the exit. But by and large, you know, you're using towers to defend your base in this game. Nothing necessarily wrong with that. That's just the overall structure of how things are going. So far, I haven't found the game too difficult at all. I haven't failed any missions in my hour and a half of play so far, which is a little bit rare. Usually, I do find myself coming up against a wall in tower defense games. But I stopped the game off-camera play at least before we got to this boss fight, so we could show off the boss fight on camera, and maybe I'll have some surprises in store for myself. So we'll see if maybe I get my ass kicked there. In the meantime, though, this is our big bad here, but we're going to be able to destroy him quite quickly. I think it was a little bit easier for us to do it this time because I actually had the ability to upgrade these towers, whereas before I did not. So that was a very easy match there. Sadly, I am still 5th on my friend's leaderboard. I don't know why so many people own this already. But if I look at my friends leaderboard, there's at least 5 people on my Steam friends list that own this already, which is actually kind of a rarity, including Total Biscuit, who is straight up kicking my ass on the leaderboards. All right, let's talk about the intangibles. That's not a good way to put it. The extra features, maybe, is one way you can put it, of Prime World Defenders. They make it a little bit different than your standard tower defense game. You don't just beat a mission and then unlock extra towers. I mean, in the early game, that's kind of how it works, but as things move along, you actually earn in-game currency, and you use those to go to the store, for example. And in the store, you can buy things like booster packs, which are basically cards that will eventually... They could be towers, they could be augments for towers, they could be magical spells. You don't know what you're going to get, so why don't we just buy... a 3-card booster pack here for 270 silver coins. You can see I've got silver coins up here. I've also got gold coins as well. It kind of has the same model as a free-to-play game, but I've never seen like a prompt to like buy more gold coins. So I don't think there's free-to-play elements in here. This is available on Steam for purchase. So this is what we got. We got a slowing tower, we got a siege tower, and magic light. We'll definitely take all there. Now that we have that, why don't we go to our card collection, and we can see everything that we've got here. So you can see I've got a card for a barrier, a card for a fire tower, and then a couple of cards for a slowing tower. Let's try to forge those, and this will allow us to make stronger towers and also to upgrade our towers, or get the ability to upgrade our towers later. So fusing allows us to make the base model of a tower more powerful. Let me see if I can make this work. We have 2 fire tower cards. Wait, that's for evolving. 1 second. Let's put a fire tower on here. And then we're going to try to augment it with something. What about a wind symbol? What does this do? With its help, you can fuse cards in the forge 2 times more efficiently than with regular card. Okay, well, let's put that on there and see what happens. This will increase our damage +6. Interesting. So what if we fuse it with another fire tower card? Increase our damage +6 and our efficiency +10. I don't think we want to do that. What if we fuse it with a slowing tower? What happens then? Nothing. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Take this off. We're only going to use the wind symbol, and we're going to spend 50 coins to make this happen. And now our fire tower is going to be doing a little bit more damage every single time. It's kind of interesting that, you know, different cards will have different augmentations that have different effects on the fire tower card. So now we can put that fire tower card back in our deck, and we can use it, and it'll be a little bit stronger in a base model. Now, there's also the ability to evolve your cards. And the way that you do this, let's select our fire tower again. This is our upgraded fire tower. And then we'll select a second fire tower card, and by fusing these, this means that we'll be able to upgrade our fire tower to basically the combined strength of this fire tower. I know this might make 0 sense right now. What this basically means is before, the only tower we had the option to upgrade was the arrow shooting tower because we'd already done this process off camera. Now we can upgrade the fire tower as well. It gives us the option to, rather than buying a brand new tower, we can simply upgrade our existing one mid-level to have it do more damage or attack more quickly or have greater range, etc., etc. The reason this is super important is because the number of spaces where you can actually place turrets in the game is pretty limited, so you want to make sure that not only are you placing as many as possible, but at the same time you're also upgrading them so that you can still be efficient in your use of the or in your use of tower placement anyway. Hopefully you understood what the heck was going on there. Basically, you get cards for completing missions, you fuse those cards and evolve those, fuse cards to make stronger towers, and then evolve those towers to be able to upgrade them in the game. It's not as complicated as it sounds, it's just a little bit difficult to explain. Beyond that, there is also the talent system here. These are basically perks that we can use to upgrade ourselves. So, you know, there's 3 different tiers, or 3 different kind of branches you can go through. Prime, which affects your ability to get resources. Technical, which usually affects your towers, like the one we have here is our extra damage. And magic, which allows us to get extra experience faster, I think. This one, what does this one do? Increase the maximum limit of cards in the collection by 10. I don't really know why that's important yet, but maybe at some point. So, you know, we could buy more stuff if we wanted to, but I think it is in our best interest to maybe just go fight the Forester here. So, as you can see, we'll get something for completing this mission. We'll get 237 silver coins, 161 experience, and 3 cards as well. So why don't we get started here? There might be a little bit of voice acting here. The voice acting so far has not been fantastic, I would say. But at the same time, it's kind of cool that it exists. This is a slightly more ambitious, I guess, from a technical standpoint, tower defense game than I'm used to playing. That being said, this game is not necessarily a must-buy if you're not a die-hard tower defense fan. I'll talk about my overall thoughts later, but basically this falls kind of well within the pack in terms of quality of tower defense titles, but it does set itself apart by having some interesting kind of trading card gimmicks. So if you're the kind of person who's like, you know, when Valve announced the Steam trading card system, you just needed to get your hands on the cards because, you know, you have a pathological compunction to do so, keep in mind that this game could be a place for you to invest some of your time. I like trading cards. I grew up collecting trading cards for various things, and I get the appeal, I should say. So, we're going to start placing towers here. We're only going to have 4 waves. I forgot what that dude said, which is bad. But we should be able to create a tower maze in order to kind of route these guys. Because right now you can see that they're going straight to our prime extractor and then leaving. That's not good. Obviously, we want to kind of route them, if I had to guess, through here and then, you know, around these kind of augmentations so we can do well. Anyway, first things first. Let us place... Do we have flying? That's what I worry about. Maybe I should place a slingshot turret. But anyway, first things first, let's block off this one with a... We have a ton of resources. With a fire turret. Now we'll just see which direction they go. No, not incoming boss. Pause the game for a second. I just want to see which direction they go. They're going to come up here and then through here and then up this way, which I don't want them to do. So I'm going to put a poison turret here. And then they should have to keep going this way. And oh, but now they're coming in and around this way. So I'm going to put a turret like this here, but that's not going to have enough range to really do anything. It's just going to be specifically blocking. So now they're going to have to come up through here. Oh, and then I got to block off this one as well. So why don't we put another cheap one, or we'll put a poison turret here. Beautiful. Now we have 246 resources. We have basically set the maze that these guys are going to run through. So let's start putting down some turrets and upgrading them as well. So this one already has vastly increased damage simply because of the augmentation spots, so we'll put one there. This one's going to have increased rate of fire, so we'll do exactly the same thing. And then I really want to upgrade this fire turret and see how much damage this bad boy can do, because they're going to be forced to come through here. And, you know, if you see like a red rhombus or square, that means we cannot place a tower there because it would make the maze, like, literally impenetrable. So if I upgrade this guy, no, he's still not going to have the range necessary to hit anybody, so that seems kind of like a waste. And we should probably add in some more turrets just to make sure that we're going to survive this initial spell here. So, okay, let's get started. It said incoming boss. I'm going to play for once on the normal speed, because I'm not sure what's going on here. I believe what the guy was saying at the start of this match was that the boss has made it so we can't use magic against them. So we might as well just try it and see if that is indeed the case. That certainly did not seem to do a lot of damage, if any. We're going to see how this works out for us, though. Okay, so why don't we upgrade this fire turret to be... Oh, no, sorry, this one right here to be a little bit stronger. Now, this guy's going to have to come back, which is good. But as of right now, I don't know if we're going to be able to destroy this troll. The little enemies are very, very easy for us to kill, and we're taking them out quite quickly. However, this big guy is being a real pain in the ass about things. Although his magic ability appears to have been dissuaded. Maybe he just starts with like a huge shield, so we're actually closer to killing him than it appears. Okay, so I think we should drop a poison turret like right here, just so we can make sure that we're doing some damage over time to him. I really want to upgrade my poison turret, because that damage over time is important. By the way, I had to make a sacrifice. There are like traditional slowing turrets in this game, but I didn't take them because I wanted to make sure... I can't tell if that did any damage. Because I wanted to make sure that... I had the damage output, basically. But I could have gone for a slowing turret to allow me to do better damage over time or something. We're already on the 4th wave here. If this boss gets to the end, I would not be surprised if that just means we failed the mission, in which case we will just do this one again and try to make it actually work. But we'll see. Did anything drastically terrible happen there? Whenever it goes to gray, that usually means we failed. Okay, one second. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to continue. And let's do another mission beforehand, because they were telling me in the in-game prompts, they're like, go to these like side missions first, and by completing these side missions, you'll be able to get resources that you can use to help you defeat the Forester, which is the boss. Anyway, why don't we go to the, that one is too easy, I think. What about this one here? Did we already do this one? No, maybe we did the medium one? I don't know. Why don't we try this one out, and we'll see what kind of rewards we get here. Maybe we won't go back and beat the boss. Maybe I don't have the skills or the arsenal ready yet. I definitely did not do this one. So I'm kind of unclear as to what these things are, but sometimes there will be towers like this, which are just placed there when you start. If you destroy those, you'll get extra prime that you can use to help yourself out as missions begin. So I think the enemies are going to start... Yes, that's our core. So the enemies are going to start over here. So I think it's in our best interest to just put like an upgraded turret right here off the bat. Oh, and as you can see, yes, he is attacking those, so that'll probably give us more prime when those are done. So we should definitely place down some more turrets as well. I could have paused it, but I don't think it's 100% necessary right now. I'm just going to spam these arrow turrets, because those have been pretty good for me in the long run. So of course, after saying that I didn't find the game too difficult so far, we encountered our first mission where I actually failed. So be it, you know, shit happens. We'll see if we can continue to... improve a little bit here, and we are destroying these turrets as well, or these towers as well. Turret tower, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, in my opinion. But this will allow us to get more resources, as you can see. When that one got destroyed, it gave us 16 extra prime. It also freed up a space for us to place a poison turret down, or whatever turret we wanted to place, basically. Let's play on 2x speed here. We've only got 19 waves, and the 19 waves should come pretty quickly thanks to the 2x speed. So I probably should place a turret up here. I'm just looking to see if there's any flying enemies. It doesn't appear so. Usually you can tell, like, if there's wings around it, it'll be indicative of there being a flying minion coming. Sorry, not turret. But I should be able to place... I want to just place, like, a standard arrow turret here. By the way, towers do get more expensive the more you buy them. So every time you buy them, they go up in cost a little bit, or every couple of times you buy them, at least. So... yeah, I just placed one here. This is basically like an insurance policy. It'll also get us a little bit of a refund on our Prime 16 extra there, and we'll upgrade it as soon as we have the opportunity, just in case some enemies manage to get through. And we could probably spam our magic more often, you know. It's the kind of thing where I don't really do it unless it's absolutely necessary, but by the time you find it's absolutely necessary, it's oftentimes too late. So why don't we save up for a fire turret at this point? I still don't see... I think, like, the regular triangle is just like normal minions. Big triangle is... like hardy minions, like really tanky minions. The small ones with extra are like extra, there's a greater volume of them, as you can see. And the ones with like kind of the dashes behind them, I believe, are speedy. But this is just all going on my intuition, essentially. So I don't know, maybe we fucked ourselves here. It looks like this guy might actually very nearly get through. So, one of them did get through. That's kind of shitty, but whatever. We're not going to get a perfect score, but that's okay. We are going to at least get our... what was I going to say? Get our rewards here, hopefully, which is basically all I'm concerned about. So I'm not sure, you know, I haven't played enough of the game, like the 3 or 4 hour mark, to know if this becomes grindy at some points, like if you need to continually do missions over and over and over to get more resources. If so, that's really shitty. I kind of prefer when the games, tower defense games in particular, kind of chug along a little bit faster. That being said, I've had a reasonably good time with my time so far with Prime World Defenders. I always struggle with tower defense games and talking about my impressions of them overall, because by and large, I play these tower defense games, I say, oh, you know, it's okay, and then I just never go back and play it, simply because there's so many goddamn tower defense games that I can't really choose which one is for me. This is basically me saying, if you're not a big tower defense fan, maybe it's not in your best interest to pay 10 or 15 bucks for this. It's somewhere in that price range. Oh, so here we get to choose our reward, but we don't actually get to choose. We have to shuffle, so we'll just pick one. We got a siege tower, so now we could create 2 siege towers. Or we could fuse the siege towers to become more effective, and then also evolve them so we can upgrade them as time goes on. A long-range tower with a slow rate of fire effectively destroys attacking troops if touched. At long range, it's only land-based. Good. We'll collect it. We could also, you know, with our silver, we could buy more chances to get other cards if there was one in here that we really wanted. But if you are a big fan of tower defense games, returning to my previous thought, by all means, spend more time with Prime World Defenders. If you just can't get enough of the tower defense genre, which is a feeling that I can't necessarily relate to, then by all means, check it out. Oh, you don't have enough silver to buy Master Mechanic, so I can only go with 4 turrets here. Why don't we change something out if we can? I believe we do that in our collection. Yeah. So what if, okay, first things first, let's go spend some coins to make our siege towers more powerful in the forge here. So we'll put a siege tower in here, like so, and then maybe we can fuse it with like an ice storm card or something. No? Can we fuse it with a fire tower? What? Oh, we don't want to do that. That's a good card. What if we fuse it with the slowing tower? What happens? Extra nothing? What if we fuse it with 2 slowing towers? What happens then? Jack, oh, that was the same one. One second. Let's try this again. What if we fuse it with a slowing tower and a slowing? You can't do both? Okay, this is weird. I don't think this will do anything for us, actually. So let's just go to the evolution instead, and we'll put siege tower on here, and we'll put siege tower on here, and at the very least, we'll be able to upgrade our siege towers within the mission. I have a feeling we're going to lose to this boss again. There's probably some terrible, like, overarching strategy that I'm not realizing. I don't know what ×2 here does. Oh, it just shows us what the tower does after it gets better. Okay, so let's go back to our deck quickly. Our collection, I should say. And we'll swap out maybe the slingshot, because it didn't seem like there were any flying enemies. And instead we'll put on the siege tower. Beautiful. Siege tower is really expensive, but they also have very long range, it said. So maybe this will end up working out well for us. Probably not. I imagine we'll still lose. But we'll give this a try at the very least. And then I'll probably call it quits in my look at Prime World Defenders. So, let me just think about this for a second. I want to see the range on this tower. That is an awesome range. And since it does so much damage, I kind of want to augment it by putting it on this spot where it'll be able to do increased attack speed. And I also want to upgrade it. So this... Oh, shit, pause. Okay. So this is going to be the crux of my strategy here. I also need to set up barriers. I could have just bought barriers, actually. In fact, if we lose this one, maybe we'll try again. I can't block this one, can I? Oh, I can. Okay, so let's block this. Then they have to come one of 2 ways. And you know what? Oh, no, sell that. Sell it! What have I done? Maybe if I on-pause, I'll be able to sell. No, it's not quite up yet. Shit, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to restart because I'm an idiot. And in fact, maybe we can just actually go... I just want to exit to the map. I think I have a strategy that's actually going to work here. My apologies for kind of going around the ring around the rosy here. Let's remove our poison towers, and we'll replace it with a barrier tower. Because, you know, these are really cheap. I can set up the barriers for the maze effectively and very, very easily this way. So I don't have... They're not great barriers, but, you know, maybe they're going to be like the acorns in Plants vs. Zombies or something. So I'm thinking that this vast shift to my strategy might actually work. So first things first, we'll put the siege tower here. We'll upgrade the shit out of it. Then we'll put a barrier here. Oh, pause, please. And a barrier here. This way they have to come down this way. And we also maybe want a barrier... Oh, I know, I understand. Maybe we want a barrier here? Where do they go now? Well, okay, they'll have to go around. Okay, and then we still have 258 resources. They're gonna have to come this way. I'm gonna block off this one here. They have to come around this way, so this fire turret is gonna be really useful. Let me just put another barrier here just in case. So what's the range on the fire tower? Not really as much as I would like, but that's fine. Let's give this a try, and we'll upgrade this one, so that'll be a really high damage fire tower now. And now I also want to get a high damage, like, yeah, that one right there. And we'll see how this works. I'm interested. I really want to build another siege tower as well. Like, what is the range on this? Pretty good. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I have no idea. Again, we'll play on speed 1, just because I have no idea how this is going to work out effectively. And I imagine we're probably going to lose again, but that being said, you know, it's not always about winning and losing. Sometimes it's just about the fun. As you can see, the siege tower is actually doing a ton of damage, relatively speaking at least. I'm not sure if it does area of effect or if it's single target, but if it can just keep attacking this dude, that's awesome. Maybe I would want to get rid of a turret and replace it with a slow so I could do more damage. But as is right now, I'm more pleased with the way that this has gone. We don't have enough. We have enough to put down another artillery or siege. So I'm going to do that right here. And I'm definitely going to upgrade that one as soon as possible. Because we really just want to focus on being able to destroy this troll. And as of right now, I don't know if that's looking exceptionally likely. The AI on the towers, by the way, seems really good. It seems to, like, very accurately prioritize exactly what you would want it to do at any given time. Like, as it is right now, it's definitely attacking the big bad as opposed to simply attacking whoever it pleased, I guess. So I'm just going to drop this magic on it right here. Come on, you can do it. We'll put a fire turret. Do it. Save our lives. He can't do it. Oh my god, it's so close, but we needed just a little bit more there. I think a slow would have made that possible. Anyway, we lose again. Let's just exit back to the map. Ignore the cat-related sounds that you hear happening behind me. This is Prime World Defenders. It's available on Steam in the, you know, standard indie game price range. I can't remember specifically if it's $10 or $15, and I apologize for that, but there will be a link to the videos, or to the store page on Steam in the video description if you are interested in picking it up. Why don't we go back to the absolute main menu here. You can see the leaderboards and what's going on here. There's achievements. There's no multiplayer or anything like that. You know, there's not a hidden collectible card game like Wizards of the Coast magic style combat in here where you play your cards against one another. I hope I didn't misrepresent it like that. Rather, those cards are simply used to upgrade things. But yeah, it's got an interesting kind of card mechanic that's totally cool. But, you know, at its heart, it is a tower defense game. Love it or hate it. Or, you know, just kind of find yourself in the middle, maybe, is another way that you could feel about this game, which is basically where I am right now. It's not a must-buy, but certainly I could understand how if you were into tower defense games, this would be one of the more interesting ones. In any case, as always, link in the video description to the store page if you are interested. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.